welcome to Grumpy Grognard Gaming and our episode thingy that we've got, and we've got a name for it now, Matt. And it's all thanks to Louise Sugden and her new podcast with Peachy and Rob, the Honest Wargamer. And no. they called their podcast Jugs. I have no idea why, but it's quite a cool name. Everybody loves a bit of Jugs. Jugs are great.
To be fair, they do.
They do, and I was watching their first. I've only watched the first one, but it was quite good. You know, Louise swears and everything. I was like, oh my gosh, got a potty mouth. Who knew?
Was there any jugs though?
Well, there were no jugs. I mean, of any description. Not even water jugs. So we could have them over false advertising.
Milk
but then
jugs?
people would say the same. No milk jugs, just microphones. And I think there was a glass of water, but you couldn't call it a jug. So yeah, anyway, they did their podcast. It was quite cool, and I thought, just thinking like I normally do, and I thought, I've got a great name for our one. This weird episode video thing that we do, and Matt, we're going to call it CHEBS. It's going to be awesome. It works because it's a couple of tits chatting hobby, endless bollocks, and stuff. Yeah.
True.
So welcome to CHEBS, people.
You're streaming, by the way.
Brought to you by a couple of tits. No, these tits are not streaming. Not right now. We might stream in the future.
You are. You're streaming right now on Discord.
Am I? What?
You are.
Madness.
I can see your browser.
Oh no! Not those tabs. What the fuck's that streaming for? How embarrassing. Matt can see that I'm keeping an eye on the Euros. Oh dear. It's not as bad as Matt being into Love Island, to be fair. Right.
Oh, that was years ago, all right.
Let me still just stop that. Stop streaming. There we go. Oh, fuck. Craig!
That's distracted now.
letting off all the secrets. So
still, we've never claimed to be professional.
We have not, no. I mean, if you're after professionalism, you are in the wrong place.
Professional divs, perhaps.
Professional divs, yes, exactly. Fucking got a master's degree in that.
Professional CHEB appreciated.
You get a certificate for that as well, I'm pretty sure. Probably from Hooters if you have 24 chicken wings.
I went there, you know. Mike took us there on our first trip to Nottingham when we went to Warhammer World for the very first time. I was sorely disappointed.
Oh really?
Yeah, I knew nothing about it. I was like, there's going to be CHEBS and beer and chicken, and I was like, the CHEBS are covered. Well, but the ladies were all very nice, and I was like, you know what?
It's not
3 ain't bad.
It's not a strip bar. It is literally just some very nice ladies with tight t-shirts come and give you chicken and beer. That is more or less what it is.
Yeah, expectations adjusted. It was very good.
If you wanted more than that, then you need to go down to the Foresters in Southend, where you've got the girls down there with the
exactly.
It's gone now actually. But, they've I played in a pool tournament down there because like this pool tournament did all the pubs in Southend, and I was actually very good. I was actually a very good pool player, and the strippers fucking came over and kept distracting us while we were trying to take our shots. Bending over, and it's like, no, I'm aiming for the blue, not the pink.
No.
Well, no, it was reds and yellows, obviously, because it was pool. But yeah, CHEBS. No, in the Foresters, they go around with like a there's no dollar. We don't have dollar bills here in the UK. No. We don't have small denominations of paper currency. We have pound coins. So the ladies would go around with a pint glass with like you put pound coins in there, and they come around and see you later, sort of thing. So that was all fun. But yes.
It reminds me of the only time I've ever accidentally got into a strip establishment.
Accidentally? How the fuck did you go to a strip establishment accidentally?
Well, it wasn't an accident. We were supposed to be there. It was when my old band played the Kingston Peel.
Okay.
And for everyone who's unfamiliar with the Peel, it's gone now. Like Kingston, South London, you get there and you walk into like a little lobby, which is like 3 meters square or something, and there's a door to your left and there's a door in front of you. And if you go to your left, you end up in the venue room, where there's like a sound booth immediately on your left, and then it's a big open area for people, and then a stage at the far end. And on the right hand side there is a bar. And if you backtrack,
one sec. Kira's doing a Sylvester Stallone impression, which means she wants another food.
Okay.
Put some more food in front of her.
Should I continue?
Yeah. Just carry on.
So if you back out of that room, back into the lobby, and turn right, go through the other door, you end up in the normal kind of bar room. It's the bar room and there's 2 doors at the end.
Oh,
One
I
goes to the
see.
toilets.
The secret room at the
Yeah.
back with all the ladies.
Yeah. And then there's the other door. And we'd never played at the Peel before, so we knew absolutely nothing. And I'm standing there with my then girlfriend, who she fronted the band, and I'm standing at the bar, and I've seen movement out the corner of my eye, and I've sort of looked to the right down the bar, past her, and I was like, oh, there's a pole and a gyrating wench.
A gyrating wench.
I was like, good lord, she is very scantily clad, very. And then I've kind of surreptitiously reminded myself that I'm standing next to my girlfriend, and I've just gone back to studying the spirit bottles in front of me, waiting for the staff to wander over. And suddenly she's gone, and I was like, what? And she goes, oh, look! And me, completely feigning innocence, was like, what are you looking at? Oh! And she went, you can see a nun. And I just said to her, like, Alexandra, you're in your mid-20s. What the devil is this language you are speaking?
Don't, Kirsty, because she's a nurse, won't refer to any genitals in any other way other than the clinical.
Oh, not a foof. No, not right in the mimsy.
No, mimsy.
No growler.
No growler. No beef curtains. Nothing like that.
I tell you, people are going to wonder what's going on. They're like,
I tell you what, we have had people saying they're happy that we diverge and that we talk about all sorts of random shit. But this is quite a swerve. I think we need to get back onto the hobby. So let's get somewhere back to the hobby. GW released all of the presumably cancelled End and the Death Volume 3s today.
What?
End and the Death Volume 3.
Okay.
So the limited edition book that everybody went and scalped.
Oh.
GW went and basically took 630 copies they had,
right,
and released them at Warhammer World.
Oh.
And people went down there and got them, and apparently like 500 have been bought today. They allowed up to like 4 books per person. So, there will be scalpers there again, but if the vast majority of fans are getting in, then they can, they can get stuff themselves. And apparently there's 130 copies left, which will be put out 10 per day over the next few days. So, that's nice.
Oh, nice. If I had any of the others, I'd ask you to go and grab me one, but I don't.
Yes, exactly that. Exactly. I mean, I could have gone down there and potentially I could pick them up. I don't know what they are, 50 quid or whatever, and I could flip them for double that. But I can't be arsed, and I'm not that much of a prick.
I mean, to be fair, like the Black Library limited edition stuff is usually pretty nice. Not for flipping,
it is nice, but
for having.
Yeah, there's no point if it's just the one. Oh my god, these 2 snakes are constricting each other.
Can't you let them get on with it and see who wins?
No, because I'll end up with 1 dead snake, man. I don't want 1 dead snake. I'd rather have 2 live, stupid snakes.
But to be fair, man, it sounds like half the hassle.
There we go. They're separated now. Should be all right. Cool.
You're going to get chomped again.
No. I've already lost enough blood today. So that was kind of a cool thing, I thought, from GW's perspective. And another thing they showed off today, although by the time my listeners or watchers see this, it's going to be like about a week in the future. But that new creature they showed off on Warhammer Community looked pretty cool today as well.
Walk on. That was nice. That was a nice surprise.
Very not what I expect to see from Warhammer 40,000 and GW. So Necromunda is.
It was Necromunda, so it gets a pass clearly because it's.
Yeah, well, I guess I mean, it is for specialist games as we keep saying, it is for grown-ups. But yeah, that's kind of pretty grotesque.
No offense to any 40k fans.
That's all right. It's past their bedtime now, so it's not a problem.
Dude. Yeah, the Malstrain Coalescence.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. It is
very, very much like a cross between a Tyranid, like almost a...
It's almost like a Tyranid demon host.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a very spiny zoanthrope crossed with a demon host, crossed with John Carpenter's The Thing.
Yes, yeah, there's a lot of that there. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, as the kids say, I am here for it.
Indeed, it slaps. I think that's what they say these days. I don't know.
I know what that means, but I don't know about that context.
But yeah, that was quite nice. So that'd be. I don't know if it's resin or plastic. They don't actually That was quite nice. And we lost X-Wing and Armada. A moment's silence for those two fallen games. Obviously, I did a video on that, which is doing quite well. And I believe you picked up like the only copy of Armada left in the UK because you sold your one, didn't you?
To be fair, man, I was kind of waiting for a moment of silence there.
Sorry?
I was waiting for a moment of silence. I was like, oh,
Dude,
no, we're not doing one.
I can do all these things post-editing, man.
You know, I'm not very technical.
I'll just put a gap in on Audacity. It's fine because I won't have all those mic clips to edit out.
You said it. I expected it. Okay, but yeah, X-Wing, no loss for me. Like, I tried it once and I was like, no, I don't like this. Armada, tried it once, absolutely fucking loved it. It was great. Like, the models were great.
It wasn't treated very well.
Yeah, the gameplay was great, but because it's a more mature it's a deeper strategy game than X-Wing, which is all kind of flashy and pew-pew. It kind of like specialist games, it didn't get the support it deserved.
No, it was very much left to die by Fantasy Flight.
Yeah, but yeah, like I picked it up and I had like the Rebel Assault Frigate, I had a bunch of extra fighter squadrons, and I had something else as well to beef up the Imperials a little bit.
I had two huge
a little bit one-sided.
I had three Victory class Star Destroyers. I had
just mean off the bat.
A Gladiator destroyer.
That's the little one, ain't it, with the prong in front?
I had 2 Imperial Star Destroyers, so not the Victory class, the actual big ones. And then I had like I can't remember what it's called now. Indictor.
Oh,
the little ones.
An Interdictor.
Interdictor, that's it. Sounds rude.
I remember those from playing X-Wing and TIE Fighter and X-Wing Alliance many years ago, and they're used to disable hyperspace drives.
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
they interdict things.
Mobile jamming device. I'm surprised that GW didn't use that for the name of a Primaris squad, to be honest. Mr. Trick there. But yeah, no, I had a large Imperial fleet and I had a large Rebel fleet. I had Home One, I had Liberty, and I had the Rebel frigate that you've got and everything, as well as a load of Tantives and Nebulon Bs. But no, they never really treated Armada right. And as you correctly say, it was the more mature, more in-depth game where you had to choose your actions in advance and stack them, and you had the shield ratings and everything like that. But for all that, I thought it was a really good game, and I really enjoyed it. The games I actually played of it. I
absolutely loved it. I only sold my stuff because Games Workshop did Adeptus Titanicus, which was pretty much, it scratched the same itch.
Gotcha. Yeah,
so to speak, but they're very kind of similar concept games.
Yeah, no, I understand.
And I much prefer the gritty. I almost said realism.
I showed you Armada, didn't I? We played it together.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, and after that, I got my one and then sold it. I could buy more Titans, but now I find myself in a decent position because I have no mortgage. So I was kind of like, oh, Armada is going end of life, is it? I always considered grabbing another copy of that because I really enjoyed playing it, and now I'm gonna have to before I can't. So
yes, before you can't get it because although they say only ceasing development, this stuff's been hard to find to buy for ages. Yeah. So unless they do a reprint,
they didn't fucking support it in the first place. Like,
no, they didn't.
How much less supported is it going to be now that they're not actually developing it for it?
The thing is, like, if you think about the new Star Wars films, they didn't really help the cause because they didn't show any battles between capital ships or anything like that.
Because they were shit. Rogue One did, but I know what you mean. Like the main arc films.
Yeah, and you got
to talk about them.
We got the Hammerhead from Rogue One. So that
was great.
Out.
You know what, man? We should talk about Rogue One at some point. It's easily my favourite Star Wars film ever. It pimped out Empire Strikes Back for me.
No, I can't put it over Empire, but it is very good. It is very good.
Because to me, like, unlike most of the more recent Predator films, except for Prey, which was great, Rogue One is how you do. It's like the first 2 series of The Mandalorian. It's how you do a homage to something great without just blatantly copying it, or doing a shit job.
I think the problem I have with Rogue One is, although it is good, it doesn't have as many iconic moments as The Empire Strikes Back for me.
No,
it is good. It's got a load of really good stuff in it, but like the battle for Hoth is more iconic than the battle for Scarif. Battle for Scarif is very good. It's got the AT-ATs going blowing shit up and stuff, but Battle for Hoth is better. And likewise, you know, I felt that the although people went mad over the Vader bit at the end, it doesn't have any of the emotional impact that the Luke versus Vader battle fight has in Bespin. So I did very much like Rogue One, and it is probably the only decent film that Disney have managed to do under Star Wars.
I thought Solo was decent, but Rogue One was far better. I think I preferred Rogue One because it feels like a war film that's set in a Star Wars universe rather than a Star Wars film that they've shoehorned some war into.
It is, and it showed...
It's a bit of a weird statement, given that war's in the name.
It showed some of the nasty things that the rebellion has to do.
Yeah, sometimes there's no right choices to do the right thing. Without
going all edgelord on it and being really obvious. It wasn't like, for example, what the Acolyte's doing at the moment. It's like, oh, the Jedi are evil. Oh, they're evil, evil, evil. It's like, the rebellion's like, well, no, we've got to make hard choices, as you say. We can't let this spy get back to the Imperials.
Like Andor. Andor was another prime example. It was produced by the same people, wasn't it?
It was indeed. It was written by it was Tony Gilroy.
No, I was about to say Edgar Wright.
No, not Edgar Wright.
He was involved though, wasn't he?
No.
In Rogue One?
I know who you're thinking of. You are thinking of Gareth Edwards.
That's the one. Edgar Wright did the Shaun of the Dead films. Is that right?
Yes. And he was going to do Ant-Man, but then he got booted off of it. Yeah, no, Gareth Edwards. Okay, anyway. Gareth Edwards originally did Rogue One. And then he kind of got taken off of it, and they changed his film about a bit. And I would love to still see that original version because I reckon it's amazing. But yeah, so we could do some more Star Wars stuff at some point. I mean, we had a request to talk about Armada, so I did want to mention it, and it is a real shame it's gone. As you correctly say, I think I missed. Sorry, 2 seconds. Yes, so yeah, I wanted to mention Armada, and one of the reasons I wanted to mention Armada is because it's quite It's quite ironic, the timing that they're killing off Armada. Now, obviously, as I said in my video, Star Wars has never been in a worse place than it is right now. Like, the Acolyte is absolutely being ripped apart and just more or less considered as a joke and nothing more. There's a couple of die-hard people, especially people who really like, on the left, who really like a few of the things that it's espousing, that really like it. But is
it another one of those white straight men bad series?
Oh god, yes, absolutely. I mean, the first episode, there are 4 white men in it. Technically, every single one of them is a criminal on a prison ship.
It sounds like it's from the Star Trek Discovery playbook. By season 2, we were like,
it was so bad.
Is there a white guy in this episode and we don't know him? Yes, he's a new character. He's clearly an arsehole then. And oh look, turns out to be an arsehole. Shocker.
Dax just fell on fucking Kira. I hate this.
Oh.
Right. Anyway, so Acolyte is very much like that, and it's awful. I mean, Star Wars is absolutely being ruined, so I'm not surprised to see these things happening. I can't imagine. I mean, let's face it. There's no sequel or Disney era content coming out for these games. They have not released, as far as I'm aware, the Ray expansion pack for Shatterpoint.
Armada.
No,
okay.
So, they're not doing great, and I think that could be part of the reason why. So one of the things that could sort of bring that back would be if they focus more on the old stuff that people still have some investment with.
Yeah,
but
they're not going for these games now, are they?
Well, no, I mean that's it with X-Wing. Everything's been released. I think that's the other thing is, I mean, obviously X-Wing's been around for a long time now, and I think they've just scraped the barrel as far as they can. Like the barrel roll.
Not entirely off the mark.
The barrel roll as far as they can. There's nothing else to release because Star Wars hasn't been focusing on the cool shit like the spaceships and all that kind of stuff, and it has been focusing on the
nonsense.
Yeah, well, I don't say nonsense, but. Yeah, nonsense. Basically, it's like Discovery. It's feelings in hallways and stuff like that, and it's just awful.
It sounds like they've just taken all the wrong lessons from Star Trek Discovery, and there weren't many right lessons in that to start with.
No, very few. And the reason I wanted to talk about Star Trek is because there is a game coming out for Star Trek like Armada.
Oh yeah,
called Into the Unknown.
It's a bit of a weird choice.
It's a very, very weird name for a game. I don't know. Because it suggests exploration, and it looks like a ship combat game, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, maybe it's You've got some heavy inspiration from Frozen 2 there.
Oh God.
I'm a parent. It's okay.
What happened is when Attack Wing, which was basically, so you had X-Wing, and
Oh
then,
yeah, that was the Star Trek version of X-Wing, wasn't it?
yeah,
More
they
or
did a
less.
Star Trek version of Attack Wing with the same. They basically licensed the rules and made their own version, and it was always very weird.
What happened to that?
It's still out there,
Oh,
but
right.
not like. It never got anywhere near as big as X-Wing. And one of the
Well,
problems
no.
with that is because capital ships, even in Star Trek, where they are more maneuverable than Star Wars, capital ships do not act like dogfighters.
No.
So to see a Romulan Dederadex class warbird doing
You're gonna have to
U-turns,
explain that to some people, I think, including me. Which one's that?
I'll put a picture up.
Is
It's
that
the big green
Is that the
one.
big green one with the
Yeah,
chunky front?
Yeah.
Okay.
To have that doing J turns and stuff just doesn't make sense, you know. So I always said at that point, I was always like, well, they should basically make Armada for Star Wars, because Armada obviously has shields on each facing. She had shields at the front, shields at the back. Yeah, shields on each side, port and starboard shields and stuff like that. And obviously that's the way that Star Trek works, where you've got, you know, port shields are down to 20%, all that kind of stuff. So I'm interested to see that, and I'll probably get a copy to review for the channel, because me and Coast will probably play at some point. But I did find it quite interesting that that's coming out just as Armada goes away, and that's a bit of a weird move by AMG, because obviously Atomic Mass Games took it over from Fantasy Flight.
Okay, when did they do that?
A good few years ago, 2000.
I mean, because I've not
2018.
I've not kept an eye on any Armada stuff. Since I sold my stuff when AT came out, so that's what, 4 years.
Shortly after, because Atomic Mass Games did the first Marvel Crisis Protocol, which is now in its second edition.
Okay.
Shortly after that, Fantasy Flight Games basically turned around and said, look, if it involves miniatures, like if it's a miniatures game like X-Wing or Armada, then Atomic Mass Games will be doing it going forward.
Gotcha.
But I mean, one of the big problems with Armada, obviously, apart from the fact that it was very hard to get hold of the stuff, because I don't think the stuff was too badly priced for the most part. I think it's about 45 quid for a Star Destroyer. It's like, it's not
No, it's just hardly any of it.
cheap. It's, you know, it's not bad, but it's not cheap. But yeah, it was so hard to get hold of the stuff. But then obviously they made a Super Star Destroyer, and that was 200 quid. It's just like,
yeah, I've not even seen that. It must be massive.
it is large. Don't get me wrong. It's probably about 2 foot long, but it's still 200 quid for a ship. Like, no.
Did I see someone in Wayland with that?
I think so. Yeah, Wayland. I mean, Wayland did get them in and stuff. You can still buy them. And
I mean someone playing a game with one. Or was there big ships in X-Wing as well?
There was
that were like a centerpiece. It might have been that.
Because I've got a Tan T4 for X-Wing, which I've still
That means
got.
nothing to me.
Oh, God's sake, Matt. Right, so start of Star Wars, the very first Star Wars.
Yeah, episode 4.
Episode 4. Pans down to the desert planet. Big Star Destroyer chasing a little ship.
Yeah, the Corellian Corvette.
Exactly, that's the Tan T4.
Oh, okay, cool.
So yeah, I've got one of those because, you know, you can play that. But that was one of the problems with X-Wing, was by the time you got like a big fleet of ships and you had all these big ships as well, because obviously the game has only got 2 dimensions, there is no third dimension as there would be in space. What happened was you just end up flying ships into each other all the time.
Because there's a big chunk in the middle of the map.
Yeah, so for that perspective, it didn't really work so well. Whereas in Armada, it can happen in Armada as well. And, you know, you get the scene like at the end of Return of the Jedi where the 2 Imperial Star Destroyers almost go into each other. It's like,
yeah.
You know,
as a kid, I was always like, well, I don't know what the fuss is about. They're not touching each other. And now that I'm older, I'm like, that should not be that close. That could very easily go horribly wrong. Risk management.
I say it's Return of the Jedi. It might actually be Empire Strikes Back, you know, with the asteroid field.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
I'm sure someone will correct us.
I'm sure Darth Vader will choke a bitch over it, though. Oh, God. Two snakes are facing off against each other now.
Mate, just put them in different boxes, jeez.
I normally do. It's all right. Our listeners have put up with so much worse. Right, here's another one. Come on, dumbass. Look, there you go.
You're still talking about the snakes, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't a listener you're
I'm
referring
to. I'm not disparaging our listeners.
We'll never get to full ultimate power if you do that.
Exactly.
We're 5% forever.
I think we're about 540 at the moment, which isn't too bad. Come on, numbnuts. There you go. Right. So yes,
That better not have been you coaching another person to subscribe.
Yeah, go on, Numrush, just take it. Just click the fucking button. So yeah, I just wanted to mention that because it'll be interesting to see that going forward. And the Star Wars thing has only got Federation and Dominion at the moment, but they will.
I will be
blatantly
keeping
going
an
to
eye
do
out for Klingons.
Klingons. Oh mate,
Yeah.
yes, fuck yes.
Metalers of Star Trek. What's not to
Imagine
like?
having a Vulture class attack cruiser for the Klingons.
That's the old school one, isn't it?
No, the D7 is the old one. The Vulture is the one that turned up. Excuse me, in Next Generation.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's almost like kind of a green triangle-ish shape, but that with a load of birds of prey and stuff. I mean, there is so much. This is the thing. Like Star Trek has about, let's be conservative, 30 times the amount of starships that Star Wars does. If you think about it, like each fleet would have loads of different types of ship. I mean, with the Romulans maybe having the least, but Federation fleet could be comprised of, depending on what area you're doing.
How many would Dominion have? I mean, how many ships of theirs do you see in DS9? I mean, I've seen DS9 more than most other Star Treks, but it's been a long time.
You see a few good fleets. They've got the tiny little scout ships, they've got the larger attack ships, and then they've got the battleships. That's about it for them. It's not quite like the Federation, because the Federation decides they just want all these different classes of spaceship. Like the Klingons have probably got the next most, and then the Cardassians have got about 3 classes. And I think the Romulans have probably got the least, because the Romulans have literally only got the birds of prey and then the scout ships.
I always found it a bit weird how those two guys both have ships called birds of prey. I'm sure there was a fuck up somewhere very early on, and they just ran with it.
Kind of. So what happened was, and I hope our viewers like Star Trek, because I'm going to talk about it for a little bit here. But basically,
apologies.
The Romulans and the Klingons shared technology.
They can both cloak, can't they?
So they can both cloak, but also the Klingons gave the Romulans access to, I think it was their D7 class battlecruisers.
The old school.
We're talking original series, yeah, Kirk era here. Which is why, obviously, the Romulans had birds of prey and those D class battlecruisers, and then the Klingons had birds of prey after that, but not until sort of the movies came out. Like in Search for Spock, which I saw for the first time yesterday. Oh, not for the first time in the cinema. I saw yesterday.
Jeez, yeah, I was going to say, what?
And I think that's the first time that Bird of Prey turned up in anything. Because obviously they then used that to go back to Earth in Star Trek 4. The one with the whales.
Yeah.
But that was good to watch, actually. I'd forgotten that William Shatner actually does some damn effective acting in that.
Oh, William Shatner's a good one.
Yeah, pretty good.
I remember seeing him in an old horror film called The Devil's Reign, and that was quite good, and it had a very depressing ending, and I was like, I didn't expect that.
Oh, nice. Not heard of that one.
Check it out. Well, I don't know if it's aged well or not, but check it anyway.
Yeah.
Seeing William Shatner in a horror film was quite bizarre.
Quite good. I know he's shown up in things like the God, it was called not the Outer Twilight Zone. No, Outer Limits. The Outer Limits. That's it. He's shown up in the Outer Limits and stuff like that a few times. Yeah. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'll get a copy of this Into the Unknown, which has just got the worst name, and then I'll review it for the channel.
Yeah, surely if it's set during like the Federation and Dominion War, then there's not really a lot of unknown there for them to be into.
No, indeed. And if it is strictly a space combat game, which I would think it is, then I don't know why they've called it that. But they've already used attack wings, so maybe. But you could have called it Fleet something or something like that.
Attack Fleet.
I just thought, Attack Fleet. Yeah, I just thought it would be Attack Wing Plus. I did think that it was just weird that just as WizKids announced this, well, not announced, but it's nearly out. I think it's out next month. The Star Trek game, Fantasy Flight Games Shutter Armada. So we'll have a moment's silence, edited, of course, for Armada as well.
Thanks. But I mean, when you discontinue a product, it's not usually like a snap decision. They must have been planning that for quite a while.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, like, as I say, the stuff's been steadily getting harder to find.
Yeah,
much harder to find.
Yeah, tell me about it. I only found like 3 places online that still had at least 1 copy of Armada left.
Yeah,
that's £110.
Yeah,
I'm sure it was never that much, but it was new.
Well, yes. In all honesty, because what happened was. It came out originally at about 70 quid.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
78 quid, that's what I paid for it. But then what happened around about COVID, Fantasy Flight Games...
Oh, no, I had mine way before that.
Fantasy Flight Games bumped all their prices up by like 20%. Yeah. Like nearly everything went up by 20%. Because I remember the Arkham Horror games went up from like 40 quid to sort of 50, £55, like the expansions and stuff.
They were very good. We should do an episode on those as well. Not necessarily just Arkham Horror, but like Mansions of Madness as well.
Write it down. Write it down.
All right. Aye.
Scribble it down, and we'll do it at some point. Yeah, I'll be up for that because I've got most of them. Actually, I think I've got all of them.
The Mansions of Madness ones.
I've got
and all the expansions.
No, not all the expansions, but I've got Mansions of Madness. I've got Eldritch Horror. I've got Arkham Horror. I've got Arkham Horror Final Hour, and I've got Elder Sign.
Elder Sign. I think Elder Sign was the first like Lovecraftian Cthulhu game that I played, thanks to you.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
I remember playing that. We played around Bailey's, didn't we? Didn't you bring it?
We did, and the creator fucked us over big time.
That was it, yeah. Yeah, just around the corner from my house here. I still haven't forgiven him. You know, I moved here, and not 3 weeks later, he was like, "Yeah, I'm off to the States now, bye." And I was like, "You absolute prick."
Take it personally, dude.
Yeah, I've literally moved around the corner from your house. If I leaned far enough to the right in my man cave, I could see the flat where he used to live, and he started renting it out and then moved out of the country. And I was like, "You bastard." Sorry, Bailey, if you ever listen to it. We miss you, bro. Come back.
Yeah, exactly. Come back from Yankland.
The States is crap. Come back. It's not really crap. I've been there. It's fine. Mostly.
I had a guy on one of these streams that I did for my movie review channel the other day. We watched
movie removal channel.
Movie removal channel. We watched we watched Taxi Driver, and I was chatting to this dude, and he's like, "Dude, you got to come over to Kansas to party." And I was like, "Yeah, if I do that, then you've got to teach me how to shoot. I'm not going to America if I don't get to fire a gun."
Shoot guns. Yeah. I mean, last time I went, like Blind Melon had released No Rain, and REM's Automatic for the People was in the charts. I think I was like 15 at the time, so that was
I was about to say,
what, 94?
Many of our listeners are like in the before times. Back when planes had propellers and you had to wind them up by hand. What other hobby stuff can we mention? There was something else I wanted to talk about for the hobby, but I can't remember what it was. CHEBS, always CHEBS. I don't know. I'm off to Newcastle to go see Suffocation tomorrow.
Bit of a stretch to see Suffocation, ain't it?
It's weird. Kirsty's always wanted to go to Newcastle.
Why?
I have no idea. Maybe she just really likes the accent or something.
Does she want to see people walking around wearing fuck all clothes in freezing temperatures?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the old beer bellies out.
Or what?
just literally going around Newcastle, just wandering around all these white blokes with no t-shirts on. I've no idea. I didn't think there was really much in Newcastle, but I was like, yeah, go on then. What the hell? Suffocation playing Newcastle. It's not a fortune to get up there. It's 4.5 hours on a fucking coach, but
if she's going just for the brown ale, she's going to drop in my estimations.
I doubt it. I don't even know if she drinks Nuki brown ale.
I only used to drink Nuki Brown when I used to go to a club called Hollywood's in Romford back in the 90s.
I know Hollywood's. Well,
yeah, mid to late 90s when I was at college, and it was £1.50 a bottle.
Nice.
And it was worth drinking because when it first came out of the fridge, it was so cold that you couldn't fucking taste it.
Yep.
And it was all right. And as it got warmer, you were like, I need another one. This is awful.
And the Star was blue.
Yes, yeah, they introduced those a little bit later on because it was nice and cold.
I remember
this is safe to drink and tasteless.
I remember Pound a Pint night at Club Art in Southend.
To Club Art, and bearing in mind that's Romford to Southend.
It's a long way, man.
On a coat. So that's the only time I ever went to Club Art, and I absolutely loved it there. It was great.
Yeah, it's great.
It was like nice glass top tables with lots of little brass cogs and stuff inside them.
Mannequins on the walls.
Don't remember that. It sounds very Hellraiser 3 though.
Yeah, it was.
So it's probably another reason why I liked it.
The night it closed down, I tried to steal them. Well, actually, I did. Because it was all getting taken down and destroyed anyway. We also tried to take the sofa, and they said that if we could get it down the stairs, we could have it, but we couldn't.
Surely getting it down the stairs was the easy part.
We couldn't work out.
You just stand at the top and push it.
No, it's because it was a massive leather sofa that my mate wanted for one of his. For his flat,
for his boudoir.
We couldn't get his picture. We couldn't get. Clearly, wanted the 20 years worth of accumulated sweat on it as well. But we couldn't work out because the stairs had
That's the only thing that's on it.
So if you remember Club R, as you go down the stairs, it sort of doubles back on itself.
I don't remember it at all. Not stairs.
We couldn't work out how to get it around that bend, and I think we were just too drunk to work it out, so we just left it there.
Oh no!
But they may well have taken it via the fire escape, which is why they were laughing at us trying to get us down the stairs.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. No, I used to like Club Art. Bit of metal in my very much youth, going down there before I really knew how to socialise or anything like that.
It's true, but we had less cares back then.
Indeed. And then
we did not carry the wares that we do now.
Years later, after that, I ran my own metal club, and
True. It was very
got
good.
to choose the songs that I played myself, and I had a band list. I swear, if one more person come up to me and told me to play Nine Inch Nails or asked me to play 9 Inch Nails Closer, and the thing is,
We do not play
I
Closer in this fucking club.
wouldn't mind if they came up and said, "Oh, can you play 9 Inch Nails Closer?" I'd be like, "Oh yeah, well, wouldn't you rather have?" I had like a whole sin,
Sorry, who?
something like that, and
Never heard of them. I haven't got it with me. Sorry.
but they'd always go, "Oh, can you play the 9 Inch Nails Funk You Like an Animal song?" I'd be like, "Oh, for fuck's sake. Just because you want to try and get laid tonight, fine." But then in the end, I flat out refused. I just like anything I didn't want to play, I just left to Martin instead. Of like, he'll play anything. You don't fucking care.
I've never liked Nine Inch Nails. I'm not a massive fan of the whole industrial thing. Like, What Zombie and Ministry were about as close as I got. And you would say Ministry is maybe more industrial
I was
than
going to
Nine
say,
Inch Nails.
she's a lot more industrial than 9 Inch Nails.
But it was also more guitar-y.
Yes, yeah.
It was more, easier for me to access.
It's more aggressive than a lot of 9 Inch Nails, I would say. Although some 9 Inch Nails was fucking aggressive and amazing. But no, I'd rather play like a Perfect Drug or something like that. I was always one for like, it'd be like the same with Pantera. They come in like, "Oh, can you play Pantera Walk?" And I'd be like, "You do realise I did like 4 other albums full of banging songs?"
Yeah, but Vulgar Display is the best one, so I don't really blame them.
Yes, but there's even like 10 other songs on Vulgar Display of Power that are...
True, by Demons Be Driven is absolutely underrated.
Man, it's so good. Dude, fucking Hollow.
To be fair, I think No Good Attack the Radical is potentially the only thing I would class as filler on that album.
Like that one very much. Oh my god, did I say there was 11 songs in total? There are 11 songs in total. Right, bear with us, listeners, because we are going to go down a bit of a metal route here for just a little while. We'll get back on Tarby.
Armada.
Mouth for War, banging tune. Walk, yes, obviously everybody knows Walk. Dude, This Love. Oh man, that riff.
I think that was the first Pantera song I actually heard.
So good.
It was either that or A New Level.
No, the first Pantera song I think I heard was Domination.
Yeah.
Off of
Cowboys from Hell,
yeah. So No Good Attack the Radical. Who say it's a bit shit. I don't like that one. Regular People's pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. But Hollow, man. Oh, it's fucking brilliant tune.
Not Hollow Man, that's
no,
film.
It's a film starring Kevin Bacon. But no, Hollow is really good because obviously you got the really quiet bit where he's talking about his brother who's in a coma or something like that. And then you get that really heavy bit at the end where the whole song just changes.
It's so good.
Oh, man, so good. A New Level, as you say, very good. Fucking Hostile, banger. Absolute banger of a tune. Rise is another one that I would say is okay.
Yeah.
Probably the same with Live in a Hole, and then By Demons Be Driven is fucking brilliant.
By Demons Be Driven, it's one of my favourite tracks.
I would go in and see Pantera next year, like I said on Facebook, but Zakk Wylde is not playing the solos properly.
Yeah, I don't care about
so he's playing all the fucking solos, like Zakk Wylde, and not like Dimebag Darrell.
Well,
if you do end up
going, if you do a better job that way,
if you do end up going, this is the thing though. Like he's a really good guitarist, so he could play them Dime style. I don't know why he isn't. If you do end up going, let me know. And if the tickets aren't absolutely ridiculous money, I might go because I never got to see. I never got to see Pantera. I had tickets twice, and I never got to see Pantera.
I think I saw them once. Again, it was mid to late 90s, and I think it was either an Ozfest or Monsters of Rock.
Oh, nice. Monsters of Rock's most likely. Hang on.
One of those two. The two kind of blurred together now in my college days of several festivals.
Oh, God, yeah.
Didn't see many, but those were two that I went to. Met Pete Steele.
Dax is being a twat. Hang on. Right, Dax, there you go. It's right, the bag's nearly empty now. It's all good.
Can you dose your snakes and put them to sleep? Not permanently.
Well, I'm feeding them because I'm not going to be back here till like fucking Friday or Saturday or something because we're in Newcastle for a while.
Oh, fair enough.
And then the week after Newcastle, I've got Devourment down in London.
Yeah. I'm not going to that. It's a shame. I might see if I can come out and catch you guys.
Yeah, why not, man? There'll be a lot of people there because it's like Devourment haven't played UK for a long time. They were supposed to play Southend-on-Sea. Zach got them booked to play with Vomit Remnants and his band at Chinnery's, yeah. But Devourment tried to get into the country on a leisure visa.
Oh, that's probably not
they didn't get a work visa. And strangely enough, the officials took one look at all the cases and stuff and went, excuse me, and they weren't allowed into the country, so they fucked that up.
What the fuck do you think you're trying to pull
Yeah,
here?
exactly. So yeah, they fucked that up. So yeah, I've got them, and then the week after that, I'm back up to Manchester. Technically, Manchester is yeah, back up to Manchester, because Massacre are playing.
Oh,
Massacre, old
Massive
80s, 90s.
Massive Attack.
No, Massacre, 80s, 90s death metal band.
No teardrop for you. Okay.
Again, I've never managed to see over the years because a lot of these bands just don't come over to the UK. So I'm like, oh my god, fine, got to see those as well. So that's another night overnight in Manchester. So yeah, but yeah, have you been up to?
So Manchester's right, actually. I've been there.
I've been there several times, mainly for gigs.
Damnation.
Mainly for gigs, and yeah, obviously, Damnation, which I'm still
Are you doing it this
keeping
year?
an eye on it. Keeping an eye on it. It'll depend how the money goes. I'm actually flogging off a load of Warhammer at the moment because, as our tips video said, you should always try and keep your pile of shame like manageable so it's not bothering you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I don't even play Age of Sigmar, and I've got 4 Age of Sigmar armies.
I've got all the Nighthaunt from Mortal Realms.
Why?
And I've always been like, I really love the models. And if I ever get playing Age of Sigmar, then this will probably be it.
Yes, but that's it. Well, at least you've got an army to get in if you want to. I've got 4 armies and I don't play. I don't need 4 armies. So I'm going to cut it down to Warriors of Chaos and the Spiders.
I've still got an old army book for you upstairs.
Yes, when you and Mike finally get your asses up here.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Michael, when are we going? If you're listening to this,
let me know. It's building Lego. Yeah, sort it out, you lads.
Yeah, it's an A-wing though. So if I was building like a Rebel Starfighter, I'd pick an A-wing as well.
I'd pick an A-wing as well. Yeah, it's done actually. He's put pictures of it on Facebook. But you've all got to come up here for the stag do anyway, which you're supposed to be organising, Mr. Clark. So
when is that anyway?
At some point before the wedding, hopefully.
Got like 6 months yet. It's fine.
9 months. 9 months. We're fine. Actually, it's 9 months.
Hooray!
Today, I think.
A baby in that time.
Kirsty's going, no, I'm not meant to breed.
Not
generally a very bad idea for the planet. But yes, talking about Pantera, I had tickets for Tattoo the Planet, which was meant to be there.
I did as well. And then it all went horribly wrong.
Well, yeah, because some cunt decided to fly a couple of planes into the World Trade Center. So oddly enough, quite a lot of the American bands turned around and went, don't really fancy getting on a plane at the moment. You can't entirely blame them for, but Slayer still did, so props for that, because God Hates Us All was an awesome album.
It is. It even gets a mention in Californication, the TV show.
I was going to say, what, the song?
Have you ever seen the TV show?
Brilliant. I've watched all of it. Yeah.
Good.
No, love it. Love that series. It's so funny. It is so funny.
It is very good. Very good.
So yeah. So I've been selling some stuff, as I say, just to clear the old thing down, and then I'll have money for things. But yeah, Damnation might get done out of that, depending on how much I make. And other than that, I've been putting loads of Trench Crusade together.
Nice.
So I've got a full Heretic Warband kit bashed, and I've got a full Antioch Warband kit bashed, and I'll put pictures of those up on the vid. And I don't know what we're doing after that. I mean, painting them might be a good idea. But where I've reorganised my thing, I can actually edit video now while putting stuff together.
Nice.
So I wouldn't go to the step of actually painting here, and that'd be our recipe for disaster. But actually, just putting stuff together and not slicing my fingers off with a scalpel is absolutely fine.
Wouldn't recommend that.
No, I've already done it. I've got no feeling in my in the tip of my left index finger because I nearly sliced it off. And it's gone right through the nerves and everything, which makes playing guitar an absolute prick because I can't feel anything.
No.
So yeah. So that's been going on. It's been all right. Hobby wise, not much else. Managed to land Blitz Bowl. I'll be doing a hobby review of that.
Finally.
Yeah, I, in the end, I went fuck it, and I got it from Australia, and it cost £60 all in. But that's posted. That's not terrible.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad. So I was quite happy with that because I did it, and then PayPal was like, "Oh, we're gonna give you a loan of an initial £100 for any customs or additional postage." And I was like, "Excuse me." Like, this was in the fucking fine print, but it just turned up Parcel Force. Actually, it's really funny because I got a notification saying that it just cleared customs, and it turned up 4 hours later via Parcel Force. Jesus.
Well, they weren't fucking about, were they?
That is Rapid Bowl. That's what's been going on here. You finally managed to clear your epic.
Yeah, well,
pile,
sort
haven't
of.
you?
They're base coated now in metallic black. I actually fucking pulled my finger out.
Did you
and
write it down?
Got that paint mix sorted. So yeah, in the chat with you and Carl, I was like, don't let me forget. This is what it is. And then after doing that, 5 minutes later, I changed it. So fuck me, right?
Lol.
Idiot. But it was close enough to what it was, so it's all good. So now I've got no 30k or epic Dark Angels sitting there in silver. They're all black.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm going to do after Trench Crusade. I'm really enjoying Trench Crusade at the moment, so I'm really looking forward to like slapping some paint on those, streaking grime the shit out of them, having something that's just really different to 40k painted.
Yeah.
And then what I do after that, I have no idea. Presumably by then the Heresy Mechanicum will be burgeoning, so hopefully we can get hold of those.
I reckon they'll do Necromunda first.
I don't know because obviously we've got nothing this week, like literally nothing, because the week after is Age of Sigmar, and then I don't know if there's anything the week after Age of Sigmar, or if they're just going to leave that entire 2-week period free for Age of Sigmar, Skaven Tide.
Yeah.
So that takes us up to what, July the 15th? Meaning we wouldn't be seeing the Mechanicum till August at the very earliest. So, which I'm fine with.
August is
August
is a bad month for spending money.
Are you still going Bloodstock, are you? Yeah, no, I'm not doing Bloodstock this year. I'll keep an eye for next year, but I'm not doing Bloodstock this year. Not while I've got a wedding and stuff to pay for, and potentially Damnation.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see what happens with the Mechanicum. But also they're doing the 40k balance data slate this week, so will they actually make that worth playing or not? I don't know.
No,
probably not.
But
yeah,
anyway.
So not much else going on here to report. I did have another product review to do, and I can't remember what the hell it was now. Something else I'd picked up that I was like, I might do a thing of that, and I can't remember what the hell it was.
You mean you haven't done
not that important. I've been so ill recently that I've not been able to get that much done, and I finally got a couple of bits done, but now I'm away all week, so I've got no time to do anything. So unless I decide to write down a couple of scripts or something for like movie reviews or anything like that, then I've not really got time to do anything. But I watched a good film the other day called The Highwayman. That was really good.
Okay.
It's got Kevin Costner and Woody Harrelson in it. It's a 2019 film, and it's about two ex-Texas Rangers that are hired to take down Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, okay.
And it's really good. It's actually a really, really good film. Because these two Texas Rangers, like in their youth, they used to literally go out in posses on horses and take down like hordes of bandits and things like that. And it's about how they're adjusting to like how things have changed. So they're sort of their methods and everything are quite out of date. You know, like they're used to firing rifles. They've never fired machine guns before and things like that. You know, they used to ride around on horses. You know, so not in cars, and they were both out of shape and things like that. It's good film. It's a long film. It's about 2 hours 20 minutes. It's very authentically 1934. Like there's no random girl bosses wandering around, unless you count Bonnie Parker, who obviously kills quite a lot of people with machine guns and stuff. But you know, there's no forced diversity or anything like that. It is very true to form, which I was very surprised at for 2019. I was like, generally anything after 2016 is kind of gone that way. I can't think of much else is going on.
Yeah. Are we still talking about Armada? Or are we
I
done
know,
with that now?
Dude, if you think you've got anything else to say about Armada, then absolutely dive in. I mean,
Not really. I'm just unwrapping mine now, but I don't think I've got much to say about it.
What I'll say about Armada is, even when I wasn't playing the game, I loved the ships so much that I had them out on display just as models.
They were very nice. Very well done.
They were that nice. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I'm wondering if fans might keep it alive. Maybe there might be a bit of 3D printing that comes in or something like that. It is a shame because there's not that many space combat games out there at the moment, but it's an indication of just how badly Disney have fucked over the Star Wars license. People just aren't that interested. It makes me wonder how Marvel Crisis Protocol 2nd Edition and stuff's selling as well, because that's another IP that's generally been more or less run into the ground. I think because it's
been tapped out,
because it's got the comics and everything to keep it going, and a lot of the nostalgia and stuff, as it were. And the fact that these games aren't the movie versions of these things, they're the comic versions of things. I think that might help it a little bit. But yeah, Star Wars, I feel like has just been completely poisoned in search of a a mythical audience that doesn't exist in the way that they think it does. Obviously, those people exist, but they don't consume product as avidly as a proper fan would.
It always seems a bizarre choice to sacrifice your original fan base that got you where you are in an effort to get more
Absolutely
fans.
mental.
And it's like, but surely they'd already be watching it if they were fans.
And the thing is, and they were. Like, I've had girlfriends who are into Star Wars. Sam fucking loves Star Wars. And I mean, properly loves Star Wars. Not just sort of a little, oh, baby Yoda or something like that, or a cute bit. She genuinely loves Star Wars. She read all the expanded novels. She just loved it. And there was women in Star Wars back then. You know, you had, obviously, Princess Leia, you had Padme.
Yeah, I mean, even Leia was good. I was literally watching Star Wars yesterday. Yesterday? Yes, Monday, yeah. Yesterday with Kiddo, because she was like, what do you want to do for Father's Day? And I was like, I'm going to watch Star Wars with you. She was like, oh, no. I was like, you shouldn't have asked me, Kiddo. Star Wars it is. I loved watching Star Wars when I was your age, so you're watching it. And yeah, it turns out that Leia's actually a better shot than Luke in most of that film.
Yeah. And then even in the expanded universe, she had like Mara Jade and stuff like that. And obviously, you know, there's been no shortage. You've got Batista in Knights of the Old Republic. You know, you've got all these characters and stuff that have always been there. It's like when people rage about diversity, like there's never been any black actors before. And I'm like, we've always had Wesley Snipes, Samuel L. Jackson, Morgan Freeman, Denzel Washington, you know, Terry Crews.
Oh, you don't leave out Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, well, exactly. Forrest Whitaker.
Magnificent.
Carl Weathers, another one. There's never not been... Yeah, exactly. I just don't get it why it's gone absolutely mental here, and all it's done is just ruined everything. It's ruined the quality of everything because of this forced diversity, and it's just like we always had diversity. Okay, like the only thing I would say that's been stereotypically done is like the black dude was always the cool dude. Do you know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's not like now where every single film's got a straight white dude as the villain. You know.
Yeah, it's like I watched Fallout. I was watching it, and I'm like, this TV Fallout is much harsher than I remember any of the games being. Like with the preggers lady in the experiment getting nommed by eels that she birthed. I was like, ew. No, this is nakedness gone wrong. Turn it off. Turns out,
last episode.
The white guy not panned out so well now, has it? And I was like, really? Again, the goal doesn't count.
Every time it ends up being a white guy's fault. And if a woman has been the bad guy, it's because of a white dude. Like she is vindicated.
Yeah, and she's really doing.
She's
really doing what she
vindicated.
thinks is best.
She's redeemed. Like one of the worst ones for it was fucking Black Widow, that film, where like her mother character, her mother figure, not actually her biological mother, but her mother figure in it, has been experimenting on all the female assassins, and like at the end of the film, she's completely let off.
Oh wait, was that the one with her whole family in it? Oh no, unfortunately I did watch that. It was crap.
And Taskmaster, who they gender swapped, killed loads of people, absolutely loads of people. But because she was being controlled by a nasty white man, played by Ray Winston, doing the world's worst Russian accent. It's the worst. It's the first Russian Cockney that I've ever heard.
Yeah, I think Ray Winston just can't do accents other than Cockney.
I watched a film last night called The Take, and it's got Idris Elba in it. Idris Elba, solid.
Always good.
Idris Elba can do anything. There's even a BBC comedy skit like Idris Elba can do anything. He can't do an American accent.
Yeah, I think that's quite a British thing. In the same that a lot of Americans can't do any kind of British accent at all. I think a lot of us Brits can't do an American accent very well.
Idris Elba's American accent in that film was absolutely atrocious. He just kept breaking into British every now and then with certain words.
I mean, I was a big fan of a TV show called Strike Back.
I remember that. Yeah.
I don't know if a lot of people have seen it, but it was, I think, the first season that they did just about predated The Walking Dead, and it had Andrew Lincoln in it and Richard Armitage, who are both solid actors. And at the end of the first season, which was done purely by like a British production crew, they lost them both. I think Andrew Lincoln went off to do The Walking Dead, and I think Richard Armitage went off to do The Hobbit, like the Hobbit films. And then from the second season onwards, it was a joint British and American production, and it was just guns and tits for the rest of it. It was absolutely amazing. I was like, I don't know what's happened here, but I quite like it. And the two guys that picked up the roles from that, they were two separate characters. One of them was an Australian who did the best American accent I've ever heard, which was really good, and the other one was an American who did one of the best English accents
Okay.
I've ever heard, like Spike from Buffy aside, from what little of that TV show I watched. And I checked out some interviews, and it turns out that I think it was Stonebridge was the guy who was the American who did a really good English accent, and he did a really good English accent because he spent half his life in England. And in some interviews he's talking with an American accent, and in other interviews he's talking in an English accent, and I was like, what the fuck? And then so I had to kind of look it up, and I was like, that's why.
Does tend to be a little bit like that. I mean, like the guy from Battlestar Galactica who plays Apollo had no idea he was British.
Yeah, that's a very good American
Jamie
accent.
something or other. James something. Bamber. I think it might be Jamie Bamber, because James Callis is the guy who plays Baltar. Yeah.
Guys, Baltar, that poor bastard. I was very sympathetic towards him. He's in a very difficult position for the entire series.
Yeah.
Mind you, some of his positions were I was kind of envious of.
A lot of
but
it,
generally,
Trisha Helfer. I mean, a lot of it is his own fault. But
CHEBS, exactly that. She's like, do bad things, and he's like, no. She's like, CHEBS, and he's like, as you wish.
Exactly. It's like the mystical power. Yeah. Yeah. I can't think of much else hobby-wise that's going on. It's a bit shit, really.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, see ya, bye everyone.
We have failed, I think.
We have. To be fair, you did say you wanted to do a quick one, so we couldn't discuss the old 40k compendium.
No, that is coming up. That's going to Newcastle. That's going to Newcastle with
Jordan Sorcery. Don't do it before we do. You already beat us to the punch with Rogue Trader, but fortunately, our video was different enough to his far more serious
very much
one.
So. And actually, that video is one of our worst performing videos. So do check it out.
Get a chance. Really?
It's only got like 300 views, which is very disappointing in all honesty. But yeah, it's just, what it is.
I'm starting to feel like, right, that really old milk advert. People who are foreign will have absolutely no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. There's a really old milk advert with 2 little kids in it, and it was like, "My mum says if I drink enough milk, one day I'll be good enough to pay for Accrington Stanley." Yeah, and the other dude's like, "Accrington Stanley? Who are they?" And they're a football team. I don't know why they're called that. Stanley is just a weird one. And then they end up fighting over this glass of milk. Give me that. Give me some. Get off. Give me some. And I feel like that. Like people are like, Rogue Trader? What's that?
I think so. I've got a feeling that when we do 2nd edition, that one might be quite a good one. But I'm going to take the compendium to Newcastle with me, because I'll need something to read on the coach anyway. So
it's a good read, man.
We'll have a read of that. Yeah, I mean, from the little I've seen, it looks like that's where a lot of the lore